Hey guys, figure I would go back to my roots, to some of these old brown bag MREs. I got this from an awesome dude out in Southern California who had these in his garage for ages. This is menu number 2. It happens to be one of old Smokey's favorites. What does it say? Well, see if you can see it. It is corned beef. I know that this was around when I was in, but I honestly cannot remember eating one. I remember the first time I saw Smokey do a video on one, I was like, I'm a little nostalgic, but I honestly can't remember one. I mean, it's been 25, 30 years. Man, that's one thing. You just can't stop the clock. You're nice and young in your 20s, and next thing you know, you blink your eyes and you're in your 50s. Man, time just will not slow down. But anyway, let's bust into this old vintage ration. It's hard to believe I'm vintage now. Let's check this out. And I was going to use a knife that my buddy John gave me, but I cannot find it, so sorry, Mr. Multi-Magnum. I had it right here, and something happened. Well, you know, these don't have the peelable seal. Back in the old days, it has a simple tear notch on the top. Well, it's not really simple because sometimes you have to be like King Kong to rip this thing open. So we're just going to use our knife. Open that thing up so we can see what we've got inside. I believe this is a 92 era. That is everything out of the bag. You can maybe kind of sort of see. You got some of these crackers. You can tell that they were stored well because none of them are broken. Oh, this is awesome. These are the freeze-dried pears. This was one of my most favorite things that I could get in any ration back in the day. Super stoked and excited about that. I think this might be, yeah, this is a 93. When I was in, these did not come inside of the ration. And I got out in November of 92. So, there we go. Now we know that they started putting FRHs in 93. Little lemonade drink. The Tabasco sauce, you can look in there, is still nice and fluid. Cocoa beverage powder, harder than a rock. That's okay. Apple jelly, I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but that's what it says. Oatmeal cookie bar. Our spoon. Accessory pack, I'll take a look at that in a second. And corned beef hash. You look at that date code. 1993 and 272nd day. This is some ancient stuff. And even way back then, packed for Sapacos. So this was produced by somebody else. Let's take a look at our accessory packet. If we can open it. Moist towelette, taster's choice. Sugar and salt. Non-dairy creamer. You get some caramels, milk caramels, TP, matches, and some gum. And that's everything in this 1993 menu number 2. Okay, now I'm going to get this heated up and the drinks made. And to make sure that this gets consistently and evenly heated up, of course, I'm going to use my Hot Logic. Almost wishes that I had purchased stock or something in this Hot Logic. But here we go. Plop that in there. And we'll let it do its thing for a good 20 minutes or so. Let's go make some drinks. And I know some of you are like, why don't you use the FRH? Well, you can look right at the bottom. You see these things definitely come apart. These old ones used to be absolute junk. And the few people that actually did use these that I know had to go through at least 3 or 4 before they finally found one that worked. You can see all those filings, even a little bit of that salt And they're just junk. And quick tip about the cocoa, when it's hard as a rock, just hit it a few times, scrunch it, and miraculously it turns right back into a nice powder. Well, let's take a look at this loveliness. Now, granted, you would never eat it like this in a tray out in the field, so this is just going to be for demo purposes, but maybe someday I'll actually do a field chow version of this if I get my camera and my act together. And the crackers, not bad. They smell okay. They just smell old and tired. I guess, kind of like me. They are a little battered up. They don't really want to come out of here, but I guess that is. Oh, come out. Oh, it's all crumbled up. That is a crime. Crime against humanity. And with this, we're going to make some Ranger pudding. Because that's exactly how I would use cocoa when I was out in the field. Matter of fact, I don't ever think I had hot chocolate, at least out of one of these the whole time I was in. And this soft drink calls for 8 ounces of water. Okay, now in the Ranger pudding, there are multiple ways you can do it. You can add your coffee to it if you want to make it caffeinated, or you can just use your sugar and your creamer. I'm just going to use these two, and then not a lot of this. Crunchy. Now I say not a lot, but it all depends on how much it dumps out. And then we'll add a little water at a time. Stir that in. And it's turned out a little soupy, but what can you do? It's more like Ranger poop or Ranger slop. And these caramels, these things are hard as a rock, so that should be interesting. All right, man, that Hot Logic does a good thing. All right, this is nice and toasty. Look at that. Cubes of goo. And this bloody thing is really, really hot. Come on. Get over there. Don't contaminate anything. Wow. Definitely smells like corned beef. Man, this is looking kind of like a hot mess. Let me just show you everything. Look at that corned beef right there. See it steaming. Well, from 1993, I guess there's no other way to try it, but here you go. And again, I'll list the major ingredients down there on the bottom, but diced potato and corned beef. Not bad, no aftertaste. Well, maybe one is starting to linger on now. The nice thing about the ingredients is it actually are ingredients that make sense. Yeah, maybe just a lingering of an aftertaste. Again, we'll try some of our Tabasco sauce. And maybe just a dash of salt. Put a little of it over here. A little of it is coming out. Oh, it's even popping over here. There we go. All of it out of there. Try some of that. You can really smell that Tabasco too. It definitely gives it that nice little zing. And whatever odd kind of little smell, it kind of masks that too. Grab a little of our cracker. And we'll put some on here because ordinarily what I would do, I would just open up this container, crumble up my crackers and put it in there for that nice little crunch. But I don't know, these don't taste bad, but they just, it's hard to explain what these smell like. It's just old, almost flavorless. It's kind of like this little odd, tangy, tinny aftertaste. Now we'll come over here to the Ranger pudding. It is still pretty soupy, so one thing that I would probably do is take this little bar of whatever, crumble up a little bit of it, and just kind of slowly, man, that kind of exploded everywhere. Just kind of slowly work it in. Just thicken it up. Also will give it a different kind of flavor punch. But that's part of the downfall of Ranger pudding, or not necessarily downfall, but add too much water, it just turns to soup instead of pudding. That tastes okay, and that makes it into kind of a nice little crumble. Just so I can try this. These things are supposed to like last forever. Tastes fine. I'm going to try a little of this, I don't know what it say, soda drink with lemon. Wow, it's especially just kind of like a lemonade. It's pretty tart too, so you could actually add a little more water if you wanted to tone that down. And then here, man, we've got these awesome pears. And this is exactly how I would eat them. Just like this. Essentially just like a styrofoam, freeze-dried, yummy pear. Still good, has that nice crispness to this. You just think if you ever had one of those astronaut ice creams, instead of tasting like chocolate or strawberry, vanilla, it just has a slight pear undertone. Now we'll add just a little bit of water to one of these so you can see what it would look like if it's reconstituted. So I've got this. It's just got maybe about a ½ ounce of water. I'm going to plop that in there. Let it do its thing. You can see it's slowly kind of melting. And grab our spoon after we clean that thing off. Mix it in there. And it turns into like a pear kind of compote. All these little pear bits. And the longer you let them sit in there, the softer and softer they'll get. Got some of this apple jam. Or apple jelly. You can never tell when this stuff goes bad because it always looks the same. But it definitely drips all over the bloody place. It is everywhere. I guess lastly we'll try to unpeel one of these. I don't know if I'm going to eat them because these feel like a rock. I'm kind of fond of my dental work and my teeth. Good Lord, come on. Been on there so long, the plastic don't even want to come off. And caramel being caramel, you could always heat it up or warm it up. Give it a little try. Yeah, something in them has went off. I don't know what it is. After you chew it for a couple of seconds, this aftertaste just starts really kind of hitting you. I don't know what that is, but that is not pleasant. Oh, that's not pleasant at all. I know Steve Roll Smoky would just gobble this down, but these old ones, they're just not for me. It's fun reminiscing about way back in the day, but no, I will leave this ancient stuff to those young guys. Well, everybody, this was a 1993 menu number 2 corned beef hash. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in my next review. Bye.